Wow! Good morning, friends. Here we go again. It is Saturday. It's the 1st of November. So exciting. Wintertime, officially-ish, right? Daylight savings. We got new Mary Kay winter products. Woohoo! And I'm in my brand new Cadillac that I just picked up not even a month ago. I think this might be my first, this might be my first or second vlog in this Cadillac, but I have a huge weekend, and I thought, this is going to bring up some really good stuff to talk about, so I wanted to talk about it with you guys. So today this weekend, I'm doing a little bit of it's a full Mary Kay weekend. And again, I say this in every vlog I do. I really think that each consultant has to work their business and their schedule in a time and a place that, just works for you, right? So this week I had a ton of stuff with my fall retreat last week, and then I am the vice chair of a board for this camp that I support. So I volunteered all day Monday. Didn't get home till Tuesday from that because it's in northern Wisconsin. And then, just the Halloween and kid stuff and business and finishing my month and blah, blah, blah. I didn't do any parties during the week this week, but this weekend I have 5 parties. So here's what's exciting about this. Yes, I'm going to be working the majority of today. I have 3 parties today and 2 tomorrow. So I'm going to be working the majority of today, but, okay, here's what I get excited about. I will have half of my parties done that I like to do in a month in 2 days. So, how cool is that? And I go to Florida this week on this fun little Mary Kay trip that my national and senior national are doing. And so I can really just rest and relax there. So sometimes it's, just requires that my consultant, who's my neighbor, I always wave her. Sometimes it just requires, you've got to blitz a little bit, and then sometimes you taper, and then sometimes you blitz, and sometimes you taper. So it's definitely a blitz weekend. But, so my first party today has 10 women coming, my second party has 3 women coming, and my third party has 7 coming. So it's 10, 3, 7. So that's really fun, right? 3 different sizes, different groups. The leads came from different places. And then tomorrow I have a party of 7 and then a party of 10. So they are bigger parties. So anyway, big weekend. Tons of faces get hashed out. I think it'll be between 30 and 40 faces in 2 days. So yeah, so that is super duper fun. Okay, so let's talk about keeping the conversation going just about parties. And, we're starting this movement where all we do is talk about parties and things like that. I do facials from time to time, which just means 1 or 2 people. But I typically almost always have parties. Now, one thing I want to talk about, because I'm so fascinated by just thought processes and, things that we say and how words have meaning and all these different things. And there was a comment on something recently about how I work and how I do my business. And someone said that they just can't figure out how I'm doing it. How is she doing it? How, and basically by the end of the comment, they had concluded that it must be because I live in the Midwest in a rural area, right? Now, if you know me, you know that I actually live only 30 minutes from downtown Minneapolis. So I actually live, it's kind of both. Today, all 3 of my parties are in the cities, in the city, in Minneapolis or, just outside of it or whatnot. So, but then where I live is 30 minutes out. So yeah, you can look around, there's farm fields and stuff out here. So it really is both. I really work both. And it just got me thinking a lot about, and I've totally done this, full disclosure, I'm not picking on this person at all, because I have done this so many times, I cannot even, don't even want to tell you how many times. But sometimes when something's not working, we like to, what's the word, not make up stories, but, you know, like, oh, well, it must be because she has this personality, or it must be because she lives here, or it must be because of whatever. Now, there might be some truth, okay? So I do believe that regionally there are nuancy things that maybe we say differently or do differently, but the bottom line is, I mean, I've done parties in other states, like in-person parties in other states and other parts of the country, and it's been a similar experience for me. So I want to be careful here, because I don't want to invalidate anyone's feelings about anything, but you know, is it true because it's true, or is it true because we're saying it's true? And so I think the empowering thing is, instead of, oh, well, that must work for her because she has X, Y, and Z, looking at something and going, okay, well, it works for her, so I know that it works. So how can I make this work where I live, or with what I have going on? I just think that's like a really empowering way to look at it. And so, but I do want to share with you that the reason I typically always have parties instead of facials is, number one, I have a deeply rooted belief, that's the key word, belief, that, I don't know, I just think women would want to do this with people. And personally, I think it's awkward when it's just like me and one other person. I mean, I don't make it awkward, but I think it's kind of awkward. I don't know. Do you think it's awkward? I think it's a little bit. Unless I know them really well, it's a little bit awkward. So I'm like, oh, it's way more fun for me when I have people. And so every time that I book, okay, and this is if you go on my team website, which is emilyschutte.com, and you click on consultant education and then the training center, I have a boss unit booking guide, and in every single script pretty much that I've made, and obviously make it you, these are just kind of words that I use, but like, I say it's free for you and up to 8 to 10 friends. It's free for you and up to 6 friends. It's free, whatever the number is, right? I had a consultant who was only doing facials, okay? And we had a conversation about that, and I know I've talked about this before, but this might be helpful for you. So she's like, Emily, how do you always get parties? Like, I am doing all these facials and double facials, like 1 or 2 people, but I want to have like, you know, between 4, 5, or 6 people. And we really had a conversation about it for a while, and here's what I found out. When she was booking, okay, so we do this thing when we don't have the bookings up that we really want, and I get it, girl, I've been here too, okay, I've been like pretty much everywhere, but like, I've been here, where we need bookings so bad that we're like, we kind of do this thing where we're like, you know, we do whatever script, and then we say, oh, and it's totally fine if it's just me and you, like, you don't have to have friends, it's totally fine if it's just us, it's like, okay, because we just want her to book, that it's almost like we qualify it. And so I found out that that's what this consultant was doing. And so she had a little bit of confidence because she had some appointments and she really was ready to have more parties. And so instead of qualifying it, I just said, hey, why don't you just say, you know, totally up to you how you want to do it. But just so you know, it is free for you and up to 6 friends. And here's what's cool, you guys. Like, 6 was her number. Like, she didn't want to have big parties. So, like, what's your number? I don't mind having larger parties, just depends. I mean, sometimes, you know, like, I know with one of these parties at 10, either today or tomorrow, I can't remember, there's, like, someone in high school, you know, so you get a little bit of that sometimes when it's a bigger group, but, my ideal size is between like 6 to 8 is what I like. So today I have a couple bigger ones, but I do have a couple of 7 and then a smaller one of 3. But you have to throw out your number. So she is a little more, doesn't have as much confidence in like holding parties and stuff. And so she's like, I think I could really thrive between like 4 and 6. I'm like, perfect. If you say your number is 6, you'll probably have about 4 to 6, right? So I say, you know, it's free for you and up to, you know, 10 friends. And here's what's cool, you guys. Sometimes you'll get people who say, well, okay, so question, what if I have like 11 or 12? Like, how much do those extra friends cost? And you guys, I love that question because then, you know, you really get to be the hero and be like, you know what? You've been so good to coordinate with. If you have like an extra friend or 2, like, no big deal. You know, they can, oh my gosh, there is a deer. Deer are not smart. Okay, stay over there. There we go. Sorry. So You get to be the hero and say, you know what, it's totally fine. You've been great to work with. You can have the extra friend or two. And it's not a big deal. Just make sure she fills out the pre-profile form and whatnot. So yeah. So I think some of the shifting from, so if you're someone who's done a lot of facials, some of it is just, I guarantee there is some kind of mind block. It could be the one I just shared where it was like, you know, we're trying to get appointments up that we, you know, are just like, okay, whatever, just if it's just you, it's great. The other thing is I have worked with consultants that have a belief that people don't want to hold parties or aren't holding parties, and friends, I'm going to tell you that's just not true, because I mean, and the way you might get past that is really just listen and look around either Facebook, your community, and see how women are gathering. Like, and I mean, honestly, just go to the wine bar. Just go to the wine bar. There's like women in groups at the wine bar, or they're at the paint night, or they're at the, you know, like right now it's almost craft fair season, and holy guacamole. I mean, it is like Katie and all her besties are going to the craft fair, and they're, you know, getting a glass of wine beforehand, and then they're, you know, walking around doing their Christmas shopping. So if women are gathering other places, you should take that as proof that they will gather in your, you know, your place or their place or whatnot. Which brings up another point. Okay, so I had a great conversation with someone about holding parties. How do I do it? So you'll notice in my vlogs, I typically always go to people. Like, I go to their home. Again, just like your schedule, you have the opportunity to decide how you want to do it. And this particular consultant asked me, well, how come you don't have people come to you in your house? And I don't see anything wrong with that. I mean, if that, you got a space and you love that girl, have them to your house. Personally, I don't like having people in my house. I just don't. I don't like having to like shush things and make it look cute. I don't like having people in my house. So like, I didn't even like it when I used to have someone clean my house. I didn't even like that. Like, I don't like people in my house. That's my space. I don't like people in my house unless they're my friends. Like, but like, just weird like that. I'll own that. But I do like to go to them. I've never in 21 years of doing this business had a studio. I've never had a studio. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the studio. I think they're beautiful. I don't like the cost. I'm trying to maximize how much money I'm making. I don't like the expense of it. I don't like the liability of it. I don't like any of the stuff of it. But if you're rocking a studio, girl, keep rocking your studio. Like, don't listen to me on the studio thing. But the reason, I have my own reasons why I like to go to their house, right? So I like to go to their house because I want to see them in their natural environment. What are they like? What is their house like? How do they live? You know, what is their situation? Because ultimately, if and or when they join my team, I have a really deep understanding of who she is and the space she comes from, and, you know, who she's surrounded by. So, I mean, that's like intel. It's great intel for people, right? To really help them, you know, maximize this opportunity and make some money and, you know, whatever. So that's one reason. The second reason is, I want people in the environment that they're most comfortable in, because I'm already coming into a situation where they don't know me and I don't know them, and I'm sure they're nervous about that. They're nervous about, like, how, you know, is she going to be some, like, you know, off the charts, like, pushy lady? And, you know, so they already have this, like, nervousness. And so me going into her home, she actually kind of has the power, which is really cool. Like, I love that for her. Like, she's going to feel comfortable. And I think that just, like, makes the whole experience just, like, extra special for her, right? And it helps build trust and connection and all that, and then I'm learning about her. So it's not about me, is the point, right? Like, it's about her. And even though I would probably be more comfortable having people in my home, this is just how I'm doing it. Plus, like, I meet leads from all over, and where I live is kind of like out there. I don't know. It's just not my thing. But again, it's cool. Like, that's what I love about this business. There's 100 different ways to work it, and you just got to find what's going to work for you. And that's kind of sometimes the hard part, is like trying out different things to see, you know, what in fact that's going to be for you. So yeah, so I'm going to 3 different homes today. The first one is the farthest away, and then we sort of come back towards my house, and so that's really cool too. 2 of them came from referrals. One is a bride from a bridal fair I did recently, and then tomorrow I have 2 more brides from a bridal fair that I did. So kind of working a little bit of everything. But yeah, super excited about the day, and so I will obviously come back in between and kind of share a little bit about each one. I've never met any of these people, so I don't know, your guess is as good as mine as how it will go. But we always have something to talk about, don't we? So we'll see you later. All right, so I am leaving party number 1. It ended up being, so it was supposed to be 10. Couple girls had one had car trouble. You know how it goes. One had car trouble, one had to work. So it ended up being, and then one was a little girl. So it ended up being 6 like actual faces. And I think it's important, at least to me, it's important that I count like legit faces. I'm going to use that in air quotes as faces. So like if I facial an 11-year-old, I'm not going to count that as a face, because the point isn't to check boxes to see faces. The point is to grow a business. And so I like to be really intentional about that kind of stuff. So yeah, so 6 faces. I did not sell a lot. I sold 2 cream blushes and a lip gloss and a cleanser. Okay, so it wasn't like a huge sales party. It was a little chaotic. There was a baby and 2 like little girls. So, and the reason I'm saying that is sometimes when there's situations like that, I go into the appointment knowing I gotta keep it moving along, because, you know, the room implodes after a certain point when there's a lot of chaos. So I did have to move a little faster, and sometimes when you're not as thorough, it's not that you won't sell as much as you would have sold, but it just is what it is, right? So sales weren't super high, but I did get a booking, so that's exciting. And then 2 girls are actually doing my Peek in a Pink event to learn more about Mary Kay. One circled 10, but she wants to ask me some questions before she officially starts. So that's exciting. And I got a bunch of referrals, so that's also exciting. So again, like, not the highest sales party by any stretch of the imagination, but I went in, I got it done quickly just because there was chaos. And you know what was really cool is the sister to the gal who hosted it was like, oh, my sister never gets to do stuff like this. This is so great. So I know that it was like meaningful for them, which is good. So now I'm headed to my next party, which is 3. So it'll be just like a nice, quiet little pace, which sometimes after having a little bit of chaos, it's nice to have something a little bit slower pace. So I will be back after that. Guys, okay. I did not make an update in between party 2 and 3 because I was running very short on time, which sometimes that is the trickiest part of doing 3 in a row is that you got to time things right. So how I do that is when I book them, I just say to them, hey, what city are you going to have it in? I need to factor in drive time. So I have found that typically booking them 3 hours apart has been pretty spot on for the most part, where I also don't like having so much time in between my parties that I'm waiting around, because I like to so like today I did a 10 o'clock, a 1 o'clock, and a 4 o'clock. But yeah, it got a little tight in between. So just because one of them was a bigger party, and and that sometimes happens. So, but I'll update you on both. So my second party had 3 people, just like I said it would, and really great gals. Just like, it was a quieter, after like this morning's party of 10 where it was a little bit rowdier, this was just like nice and chill. They bought, it was about $200, so that's exciting, and they really liked the foundation, the primer. A couple of them got like cleanser moisturizer type situations, so that felt really good. Oh, there's a rainbow! Oh my gosh, I wish you guys could see this. This is so cool. Okay, maybe when I turn this way, you'll be able to see. I doubt it. There's a rainbow like right over there. It's really funny. Anyway, I got really distracted there. But fun fact, I went out to get their product, and I came in, and she hands me this wad of money, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm getting a tip. This is so weird. Which, I don't even know if that's like a thing that we do. I don't advertise it, but I didn't. I was like, what do I do? And I said, oh my goodness, like, thank you. You don't have to tip me. She's like, no, we just had such a nice time. I really would like to. And we pulled it together. So they gave me a $20 tip, which was like super sweet. So yeah, you know, weird stuff happens sometimes, and I just roll with it. It's like, okay, you want to give me $20? All right, sure. I just appreciate that they appreciated it. I know we got sun in the face here. Okay, sun's a little better here. And then my last party ended up being, let's see, one, I can't look at their slips. I just got done with that one, and there were 6. And, which she said 7, so 6 is pretty good. And a little bit rowdy again. See, that's the thing when you get the bigger numbers, it's a little rowdier. My sales were not super high. They had an event they had to get to, and so it had to be really fast. We went really through everything really fast. But I do think 2 of the ladies specifically set up times to chat with me because they want to get like full skincare lines. They want to get on like foundation and all of that. So I know that there's going to be some really good customers from that. I did get one that wants to book, but again, we were pinched for time, so I had to set an appointment. So that's a little tip for you. Anytime something chaotic happens at the party and you're not able to reconcile it on the spot, I try to make an appointment, like, hey, could I call you Monday? Great. What time Monday? Because if you just say call you Monday, you're going to be playing phone tag with her, and unless you're like really saintly about like getting back to people, which I'm not always real great at, if I don't have the appointment, sometimes it just never happens. So make sure that you set an appointment so that it gets done, and then you hold yourself accountable too, in addition to, you know, they know you're going to be calling them. Oh my gosh, this lighting and sun is a little bit crazy right now. So so those are just some of my tips, but overall a really good day. So let's see, that one is 10. So I saw 20 faces today, so that's, or 19, sorry. My math wasn't math in there. I was thinking 7, but it was 6, 7, 8, 9, and then, although at my first party, I'm not counting them all, so I didn't see that many, sorry. So I saw 12, 13, 14, 15 faces, 15 or 16 faces, because earlier I had mentioned, like, I don't like to count them if they're not of age, and that type of thing. That's just how I do it. That doesn't mean you have to do it that way. I just really, for my own tracking, like to do it that way. So I will actually be back tomorrow because I have 2 parties tomorrow, so you can kind of see like how a whole weekend goes. But overall, a pretty good day. I think I sold like, I don't know, 400 or 500. I'll have it totaled up for tomorrow. But yeah, so we'll see you tomorrow. Hey everybody, I'm just leaving my driveway. It is day 2, and I have my first party that I'm headed to with 7 ladies. Actually really excited about this hostess. She's just been really, really cool to work with. But what I'm excited to tell you is just the things that sort of transpired overnight and had me change my plans for today. So I'm supposed to have a party at noon and a party at 3:30. Well, my husband decided last minute, as sometimes men do, that he wanted to take my son to their first ever game, Packer game at Lambeau Field. Now, I just want to tell you, I know not everyone is from the Midwest, and some people hate the Packers. I get all that. I'm, like, super into football, but, like, I don't care what team you cheer for, at some point in your life, you have got to go to a game at Lambeau Field. So whatever team you support, if they're playing Green Bay, you should go. It is, like, seriously one of the most authentic football experiences because you're in this, like, small town. I grew up, like, an hour south of there. And it's just, you're just, like, walking around, like, a really small town neighborhood, and there's all this room for tailgating, and, like, there's just stuff and people walking around everywhere. Like, it's so much fun. And then they have the museum is really neat. Like, there's just some cool stuff there. So anyway, they decided that last night. Well, my daughter and I are home today, and she has someone with her for a couple hours. So and she's almost 10. She'll be 10 next month, so it's probably fine, but I like to have someone with her. So yeah, so I can't be gone all day, and that's totally fine. Like, that's why I love my business. I have the flexibility to do that. So, okay, so now you're thinking, well, what did you do about that 3:30 party? Well, here's what's cool, you guys. I was able to give that away to one of my awesome beauty consultants, Alicia. So she is doing a party of 10. So just imagine waking up and someone gives you a party of 10 people. Like, that's pretty cool, right? And that's one of the ways that I love to bless my team is by giving them business sometimes when I'm not able to. And typically in a month, I'll dovetail anywhere from, to give a party away, 3 to 6 parties a month. And I love having the ability to do that. I do have a video on the parameters that I set with that, so and how I do that and whatnot. So I'll put that in the description of this video. So if you want to learn more about, like, okay, well, what if I'm not able to hold a party? How do I do that? And it sounds really simple, like, oh, well, you just give them the party, but there's some things, like some nuancey things within that. So yeah, so I feel really good about that. And, that's one of the things I like to do is I purposefully sometimes overbook myself and overextend myself. And, even though I was energetically there to hold both parties today, like, sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I do, like, 2 in a row. Or, I just have a lot in a week going on. And by the time I get to the last couple parties of the week, I'm just like, you know what? I don't need to burn myself out. I'm good. I've seen my faces this week, so I'm going to bless someone else with these appointments. So it's just, but they're always booked, right? So it's like, if you do need it, or you do, have a need to get out there and see faces, like, it's always booked in there, but I have the ability to say yep or nope, or I'm giving this one away, or I'm, going to choose to do this other thing on this day. And that is a really fun place to be. And it's a result of just, like, the consistency and systems that I built over time. So, yeah, and I am trying to give you insight into those. Like, sometimes people will say, well, show me all your systems. And it's like, well, a lot of them are just, I have lots of separate videos on, like, how I pack my bags, and that I have a lot of section 2 on hand, so that I don't, not sample so much, but a lot of, like, the washcloths and the trays, so that I'm not constantly out of things, right? And then I have a lot on booking too. I talk so much about booking, and the reason that I'm even able to hold this many parties is because I've spent years just, like, studying booking, thinking about booking. I do it every single day, a little bit of booking here and there. It is literally the most important skill to master in your business. So if you're, like, feeling like, oh, I want to get to a different level, but I'm just not sure where to start, like, that's where I would start you. It's just, like, getting really masterful at booking. So anyway, so I'm headed to this first party. I will do a quick recap when I'm done, and then I will be done for the day. All right, you guys, here we go. The last party of the weekend. Just got done, and I just want to make a little point here. So you just got done listening to yesterday, where I did 3 parties in a row, and they were kind of meh, meh. And I always try to put a positive spin on it, which you all also heard. But I, seriously, last night I was like, oh, come on. Like, none of them were big sales, and, they were all fine, but, like, none of them were like, oh, I'm going to, like, write home about any of the parties I did yesterday. And then today, I was reminded that, it really is just the averages of things, right? So, like, if you're only doing 1 party every 3 weeks, it can be really disheartening if that 1 party is one of the ones that isn't great, right? And so it really is fascinating, because if you think about it, I did 3 parties yesterday and 1 today. Okay, so that's a total of 4 parties. And so 4 parties, right? So yesterday, total, out of 3 parties, okay, so total, I sold 423 total, like, out of 3 parties. And then this party I just did, there were 7 ladies. I sold just shy of $1,200. Okay, that was fun. Holy guacamole. I mean, they all did. We had 4 set special, 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 and then just 2 sets. Those are fun, right? So that's really cool that I had this big party. Well, if you think about it, if you add 1174 plus 423, that's just shy of 1,600 for 24 hours. If you divide that by 4, the average is $400 a party. And how many of you would be like, yeah, I'm cool with $400 parties? Like, that's good, right? So it's just a reminder that sometimes, like, this is why numbers are important, because we have to average it together. So yeah, I was like all meepy and like, blah, I didn't have the day I wanted yesterday. And that's okay. Like, we have to have those feelings about it. Even I have feelings about it, even though you heard me in the video trying to be all like positive and whatever. I was like annoyed. Okay. So like, I just am telling you that so that you know that it's okay to have like feelings about it, but like really look at it when I'm in emotion like that. Sometimes it's like, oh yeah, well, if I add it all together and divide it by 4, it averages out to be $400 a party. Like, that's good. That's awesome. So there you go. That's the lesson for today, is to look at things as a whole instead of the individual pieces sometimes, because it can be a little frustrating. And I got 2 bookings from this one. So I love when I do like a $1,200-ish party and then 2 people book from that. It means you're going to sell more product, and just great people. I really loved all of them. And there's some interviews happening, some coffees and things with this group, and 2 dates. They both booked for December. So again, if you think no one's going to hold parties around the holidays, they wanted to get their party in before the holidays. So that's super exciting too. So what a great weekend. I swear, like, I learn this, I don't know, every few weeks, and gotta relearn it every single time. Gotta relearn it. It's totally normal. So anyway, thanks so much for watching. Again, hope these vlogs are helping you just sort of like process parties and all things related to your Mary Kay business.